look at the history of cancer, there's always relapse. So much of relapse. People get treated and after some time it comes back again. So I just said I want to look at the foundation of science. Currently, we still don't have drugs that you say these drugs are for cancer research. No, mostly it's chemotherapy we are using. So but we keep researching as scientists to see if we could have other therapeutic interventions to add to chemotherapy. I wouldn't say being a cancer researcher, there are no challenges. If I say that, that means I'm not saying the truth. There are challenges and big challenges. So one of those challenges is...
So welcome to the Truth in Research conversation. And in our conversation today, we have somebody who is very, very passionate about cell biology. And I think I must start by talking about the essence of the Truth in Research. The Truth in Research is a conversation that is designed to help uplift early career researchers, get them exposed to industry experts and professionals who are actually really doing outstanding in the field. And today on this episode, we have Chinyelu, Dr. Chinyelu, and we're going to be gaining a lot of insights from her. And please to start by introducing yourself.
Okay, good evening, Doc. Nice to meet you.
Compliment.
Okay, my name is Chinyelu Patrick. Yeah, I'm currently in my final year in my PhD program, molecular and cell biology, but I specialize in protein structure and function research lab. It's at University of Witwatersrand, popularly known as WITS. It was declared as #1 in Africa just last week. So currently my research focus is on cancer cells, disease cancer cells. Yeah, so we look at druggable targets, look at compounds, current drugs, and also look at resistance, and how to improve lives better.
Yeah, Dr. Patrick Chinyelu, the maker. Okay, now, many times we've actually had conversations with, professionals, people who are, more like people who have had extensive experience in the field. But if I might actually ask you this question, I actually looked at your journey right from your time at Biloxi as a
really
completely. So as of then, I'm sure you weren't really thinking about cell research. I don't know if that was what you're thinking about. Probably you had aspirations. But looking at your career trajectory, what is that one thing that actually led you into cell biology and cancer research? Molecular.
Okay. All right. I've always been very inquisitive. Yeah, I like asking and keep asking questions over something. And I want to understand why is this way. So that curiosity is what really took me to science. Yeah. And also cancer is something that is globally is a challenge. Yeah. Every day we have stories of losing loved ones. And if you look at the history of cancer, there is always relapse. So much of relapse. People get treated and after some time it comes back again. So I just said I want to look at the foundation of science, especially with cancer. It has to do with cells itself. So I want to study cells and see what's really the issue with disease cells. So that's what intrigued me. Yeah.
There are so many early career researchers that are trying to navigate their trajectory in terms of their choice. And one thing for sure I know is that there are possibilities that if somebody is not properly guided, they might not really be able to hatch out the area or the passion that they might actually have or what they might want to go much more deeper into. So from what you've said now, what does cancer research actually involve and why should the public care about it?
Okay, and cancer research involves quite a lot, but it's doable. Yeah, it's really, really doable. It involves a lot of research, a lot of lab experiments, and also a lot of maybe following protocols. And also what someone who wants to go into cancer research should really look out for is bear and at the back of your mind that it's a public health issue. It's a issue that will always be there. It keeps evolving every day. So it's a societal problem. It's also an economic burden for. So if you find yourself, you have interest in it, it's something you should go into it because it's going to bring solution. It's going to bring solution. It's going to bring impact because we are still studying. We still don't have drugs that you say these drugs are for cancer research. No, mostly it's chemotherapy we are using. So, but we keep researching as scientists to see if we could have other therapeutic interventions to add to chemotherapy. Because at the long run, chemotherapy is not really, I wouldn't say it's working, but we need other alternatives, other options. And that's where the scientists come in to research these things, to find, okay, what are other alternatives? What are other targets we can use to be able to get cure for cancer? So it's something we should go into, yeah.
Yes. So are you saying there are no challenges or, because I'm sure for you navigating your career from Biloxi, down to, where you are currently,
challenging.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Yes. So many at times the realities of building a research career comes with a lot. And definitely challenges, you're trying to navigate these challenges, you get more challenges. The more there is breakthrough in research, there's also other gaps to fill. People have to go through so many hurdles to get to the particular height they're looking at. So from some of your tenure now, currently as a PhD student, who's in our final year, what are some of the challenges that has really been of? I know PhD comes with its headache and all of that. So what are actually some of those challenges that you want to share out there?
All right. In life, every step someone takes, there are challenges. So I wouldn't say being a cancer researcher, there are no challenges. If I say that, that means I'm not saying the truth. There are challenges and big challenges. So one of those challenges is resource. Sometimes you could want to do an experiment and maybe you don't have maybe the instrument or the things to use. Then it boils down to funding. When there is not enough funding, that can also be an issue. And also sometimes failure of experiments is a big challenge. Mm-hmm. You have your well-planned protocol, you did everything, you crossed your T's and I's, but yet something just happens. And that is not the end. Yeah. So all you need to do is to go back, sit down, look at the challenges and try to see what went wrong and correct it. Then sometimes you just get fatigue because you keep doing this. Remember, experiments, sometimes you could repeat one experiment 9 times. I have such a situation. I did one experiment 9 times before I was able to get, because you need to get results that are reproducible, that someone else can say, okay, I can do this and get something. Yeah. So also sometimes you were expecting a positive result and you get a negative result. Yeah. So that's also not the end. Exactly. That's not the end. So then also sometimes it could be a new experiment you've never done before. Yeah. So it could be quite challenging. Yeah. You need to look deeper to understand, reading between the lines, understand what to do to be able to carry out the experiment. And maybe there is no much expertise on that particular experiment. So it becomes you are the one who is to bring in the expertise. So there are so many challenges, but
yeah, completely. As much as we talk about challenges, I'm sure there are a lot of opportunities that comes with it. So we designed this conversation to see that career researchers, people who are interested, people who are starting their career, when they hear from Chinyelu Patrick, they are intrigued. They want to go all in. They are looking at your story. They're looking at career trajectory, and it's giving them hope to say, okay, yes, I want to be part of this. Now, what are some of those opportunities? Because many times when you tell me about heaven, now, let's say, for example, you tell me about heaven, I think it's going to make me repent. But maybe you tell me about, you tell me about hell. Because a lot of times we're being fed up with a lot of bad news. And that's just
we want to hear this.
Yes, when we hear about the rewards, I guess it gives us some hope. So, what are some of those opportunities that comes with doing a PhD, particularly in South Africa?
Oh, there are a lot of opportunities. One, the exposure. The exposure is quite broad. I can sincerely tell you that. I did molecular biology in my MPhil. The kind of exposure I have now, I didn't get it in. So exposure is quite something very important one could get. Then also, even could get networks, collaboration to collaborate. Currently, what I'm working on now, my lab doesn't have the necessary equipment. So I'm working with another lab. So that's collaboration. So it also helps also. Then apart from that, there's so many opportunities. You can also have opportunity to attend conferences, to go for presentations, even workshops. There's one workshop they held yesterday to put us through to have entrepreneurial skills as a PhD student. So these are great opportunities. Then also you can have opportunity to work in the industry. Like my mentor, the person who directly trained me in some of these experiments, is currently working with the water industry. Then I know of some students after their PhD, some became lecturers quite well. There's some working in pharmaceutical industries, some in production industries, so many industries. Yeah, it's broad, it's wide. Yeah, there's so many opportunities for scientists. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I think you mentioned something recent. You mentioned something in your bio. You talked about quality assurance, and it's something that is quite very key that I would like to get some insights from. And I'm sure there are a lot of skills that you might have developed from quality assurance, because many a times, some people could just go through some of maybe your resume, maybe even some of what you put out there, and the terminologies might seem ambiguous for them, right? So now, how are some of the skills now from quality assurance, research, and industry? How can they create career pathways for scientists?
Okay, like when I was working as a quality assurance person, okay, we're looking out for want products that are precise, that are of standard, that are of quality, and how do we get to this product? We follow a lay down procedure, how to produce this product. We document everything we do. We follow regulatory regulations. Same thing in science. For the experiments I'm doing, there are protocols. You see, follow those protocols. When I follow these protocols, can someone else somewhere else be able to reproduce the same result I got with my protocol? And for everything we do, we document. Because if you don't document, how do you present those results? And we have regulatory bodies also in science guiding that, okay, we are doing the right thing. Whatever result we are getting, it's sincerely the result that should be gotten. And from this result, we have a particular situation we want to solve to bring solution. So it's both of them marry each other here. See, the skill from quality assurance also comes in play into science.
Yes, that's really very nice. Because I'm sure. So what people just need to understand the intersection, between some of these skills and how most of them work together. And it was actually really very nice. So, but even I'm going to ask you one question now, looking at the fact that you're doing a PhD here in South Africa. Sorry, in South Africa, over there. I want to ask you. Let's take for example, now we have an early career researcher or somebody who is in a rural area in Tanzania, and they're about to start their career, and they don't know where to start from, right? And then they've seen Chinyelu that started from Biloxi and now currently in Minnesota, wherever you are. Now, what is one practical advice you're going to give to that person, looking at how your career is currently being shaped around, being a cancer researcher? What is that advice? Because I believe this is something every early career researcher will want to gain real-time insight on. So what is that particular advice that you have for them, particularly if they have intentions of getting into cancer research and make a very meaningful impact in it?
Okay, I would start by encouraging them. It's not going to be an easy road. It's fine, but people have gone there and they've succeeded. So you too can succeed. So the first thing is to have a foundation. I had a foundation in science, I think, and that helped a bit. Then you have to be consistent. I've always dreamed I want to be in science. Yeah, I want to do this. I want to do a master's, I want to do a PhD. It didn't come immediately, but I had this dream and I kept on insisting. Then if that's what you want, be consistent in it, push that goal, then be curious, ask questions, seek help. There are mentors there who has gone ahead. Ask them, how did you do this? Then you must put an effort. It's very important. Must discipline yourself. You have to read. You have to research. You have to check what is happening in this field. Ask questions. Then if sometimes you can't get questions, there are people who are willing to collaborate. You can also collaborate with people. Yeah. I remember the first time I came to South Africa, I asked for help. I spoke to people I've never met before. They don't know me, but I explained and they gave me guidance and it really helped. Then I continued, from there. So, but everything in life is doable if you put your heart to it,
Honestly, I think this couple of minutes that we've shared, like you've really, like even while we were actually making this explanation, I just saw myself under your tutelage. And I'm going to say, with respect to what you said, is there one thing, looking at your career, that you feel like you should have done, and then you want to talk to that person specifically, and you want to say, don't do this, maybe to reinforce the current advice you've given to them, but then probably you say, oh, I wish I would have done this and all of that, looking at the magnificent career in cancer research that you're building?
Okay, what I will tell them to do is don't ever quit. Don't ever quit. Because if you don't quit, you're going to solve a problem that's going to change the lives of not just today, but generation to come. Yeah. So if you quit, then how are you going to bring solution to problems? So as a scientist, we are out here to look for solutions to problems, to make life better for people. So that should always be at the back of your mind. So don't ever quit whatever you are doing, as long as you know you're on the right path.
Thank you very much, Chinyelu Patrick. That was really very insightful, and I must say that it's very, very important that we also hear from people from all aspects, and this is something that is very important. People must understand why they need to continue pressing further, and they need to understand why dedication is very important, particularly if you want to really make a very meaningful impact in this world. You must make sure you show up, you grind it, and you ask questions, just like she did say. It's something that's quite very imperative. When you ask questions, it gives you some kind of leverage. Personally, in my career, part of my career, I always had this mindset that I could just always do it. But when I realized that it's always very important that when you ask people, it kind of gives you much more clarity, and you see that there are some things that you might not be seeing that other people are just saying. And you've just really made these points really very rigid. And I want to say a very big thank you, because this insight that you've shared, this is something I believe a lot of researchers are definitely going to appreciate. And there are things that we usually say that small things can move the needle, and when they move the needle, it can change the entire narrative. So I want to say a very big thank you for being on the Truth in Research conversation, Dr. Chinyelu, and say a very big thank you to you, and hopefully
thank you so much, Dr. David. Nice meeting you.
Thank you very much. Is there any last thing you want to share?
I want to say thank you, Dr. David, for the opportunity. Yeah, it's really my pleasure, and I appreciate what you're doing. This is so nice, and life is all about collaborating, networking. Yeah, at the end of the day, we are all coming together to find solutions to needs to make life better. That is all life is all about, nothing more, for everyone to live a better life.
Thank you very much once more for that, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Thank you so much. And you too. Thank you. Bye.